All right, now I'm back. This is Mystic. This is episode 2 of Mystic Behind the Journey. This episode is called Who You With, DU. This is part of the celebration, the road to the 20th anniversary of Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom. Today I'll be joined by Money B and Clee and the amazing Tyranny, my brothers. This is a DU. This is going to be a DU, a Digital Underground day today. How am I feeling? I'm really thankful that it's Friday. Shout out to everybody else who works a 9 to 5 or a 7 to 4 or a kind of more standard job, and we get to the end of our work week and we're like, right? And so the balance of that and the balance I kind of have right now of working a full-time job that is connected to civil rights and human rights and social justice, right, is really good for the heart. The balance between working a full-time job and also being an artist who's kind of stepping or not kind of, but who is kind of, I'll hold that thought, kind of stepping back into the music business. Or maybe I should say, as somebody who intentionally stepped back to pursue education, I think I'm ready to step forward. And so the negotiating the balance between being an artist and having a standard job is always an interesting one. Thank you. Oh gosh, look at you. Asked me how's my heart. I'm probably going to cry today. But when my brothers come on here and I see all y'all on here, and it's a DU and it's a Black Alicious day. Rest in peace to Gift of Gab. He was such a beautiful spirit and a beautiful heart. So my heart is good. My heart is good, even if I cry. But today is a super, super celebration. So I will take a breath. Yeah, we may be all crying together, right? Like, it's an incredible, incredible time of loss, and it remains to be. But like, I've been in a really good space. I mean, healing is a journey, and that's how many of you guys came to know me. If you know me through my music and my art, is that you came to know me as somebody who is very much on a journey, a healing journey. So yeah, if you guys need to cry, you can cry too, right? But the reason I started crying is that the way that I help to take care of my Digital Underground family, and for the folks where it's totally outside of the public eye, right? And just weekly check-ins and I love yous, and is I ask people, how is your heart, right? I no longer, and I do that with other people I love, I no longer so much ask with people who I know who are going through things. I no longer so much ask like, how are you doing, right? I ask, how is your heart? Because I draw on that from my work with children, and particularly with children who have experienced trauma, right? Or who are experiencing trauma. Like saying how are you doing is such a kind of complex question, particularly for younger children. So thinking about, how is your heart? What do you need? How can I help you right now? So me asking, right, like, how is your heart, is me wanting to understand, how can I help you right now? What do you need right now, right? So thank you. We got through that. I'll still post this video with me crying and all of those pieces, right? And if you guys are crying, I'll send you a hug and love. Oh, I see Clee. Hold on a minute. I gotta bring you up. There you go. Thank you for the Did you? Oh, there you are.
Hi, hi, hi. I don't have a haircut. I didn't get to the barber shop. It's been crazy, but I'm here.
Okay,
I
that's
won't leave
okay.
you.
What counts is that you are
I am
here.
here, and that's
Yeah.
what matters.
And I've seen you with less uncut hair. So, it's all good.
Only on tour.
Only on tour. I mean, for the most part, on tour.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining today. I'm sure Mom will join us soon. How's your day going?
Vic, what's up? It's going great.
Excellent.
We're having a
Excellent.
lot of great things working for us today.
We do have a lot of great things working for us today.
Yes,
You know.
very
Oh, there
happy about
goes
those
Mun.
things.
Mun, you want to send a request or you want. I haven't had two people on here at the same time.
That's okay. We'll figure it out together.
We will. I love you, Clee. Let's see. Can I? Oh, there. Uh, there we go. Look, you got folks in here. They I love you,
There it
Clee.
is.
Guy, hi, greetings.
Can you
Greetings,
hear me?
man.
What up, though?
What up, though? What up, though?
What
Oh
up,
gosh,
though?
I want to be able to see y'all faces, and it's got people's names.
Can you
Let me
see
try to
me?
work it out. Anyways, greetings and welcome to the two of you. Greetings and welcome to everybody who is coming in the room. Welcome to Mystic Behind the Journey, episode 2. Who you with? DU. It's such a pleasure to be here today and to be able to have my brothers with me as we started last week with the Angel and with Jack Splash. Like, it's just super important to lay the foundation. And regardless of whether you know who somebody is or you heard them on the album, everybody who's coming on this IG Live series is somebody who played a part in my development as an artist and as a woman. But for me, Digital Underground and my Digital Underground family is so important because and we'll talk about this, but like, I came in when I was still what I would consider such a baby. And everybody says that when we talk about digital, right? We say, I was such a baby. And Clee, you were really a baby.
I was pretending.
Um, but that, it's like who I am at 47 as we come up on the 20th anniversary of my first album is different than who I was when I was 18 and 17. And my brothers can tell you that. The only kind of ground guidelines for this conversation for the broader community is just respect, folks. This is not an opportunity to talk, to ask every question you want about Pac or every question you want about Shock. This is about me and Mun and Clee being able to celebrate today and to kind of reflect on some things. And then for my brothers, the only ground kind of guidance that exists is we always stay within the same kind of guidance of what happens on tour stays on tour. So if it's not something we would have took off tour, then it doesn't go in this conversation either. So anyways, welcome. Why don't you two introduce yourself to the people?
You want to go
Money
first, man?
B.
Cleetis Mack, how y'all doing?
Money B. Digital Underground. What up? How y'all doing?
Yeah, what up? This is Digital Underground all day. So we are going to start. I
Yeah.
tried to be professional. You see that right there? Clee and Mun. I have
What's that?
questions. I got questions for you, but we could
All right.
also just kind of build and chop it up. Do you guys have any questions before we jump in?
I just want to start with, I didn't realize, well, I guess I knew, like you and Essential, and I guess Clay, that y'all was that young. Because whatever year that was, I'm like 6 or 7 years. I know I'm 7 years older than you, Clay, but probably the same for you, Misty.
I'm 47.
Yeah, I'll be 52. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it's like the journey of getting to, and Clee, you were really a teenager. I mean, I was a teen when I started building with you guys, and as I journeyed in, but I definitely was not legal.
Well, you know what it was? Really, you know what it was? What up, Tyrese? My son on the line. What up?
Hey,
Hey, he got it.
The D and a
what's
half.
up?
No, I was gonna say that what made it a trip is because even though I knew how old Clee was or whatever, Clee was out there. He was, we were all looking out for each other,
Yeah.
but he was taking care of himself. I just remember that Essential was the only one that actually told his mother that I would be responsible for him. So I always was looking like, come over here. Like,
Oh wow.
like literally, I was his chaperone.
Yeah, I mean, I am positive that my mom told Shock, like you're gonna take care of my daughter, right? You know.
Yeah. So that.
Although
And
when
of
I
course,
left to go out on tour with y'all, she didn't drop me off at the bus. When I went off on myself, she literally took me to the tour bus and gave people applesauce and shit like that.
But what it was is Clee's mother was telling me that way before tour. So it was all news to me.
We got generations. We could actually just start there. I think it's a great place to start. Of like, we could just start off. I wanted to talk about the revolutionary legacy and pathways that exist within digital, and both of you guys actually literally come from Black Panther families, and so I just kind of wanted to ask you guys, like, what are your thoughts when you think about, so many people know us for really wonderful party music and other commentary music, but that, like, what do you guys think about in terms of the way that you were raised and the brilliant knowledge that you were given coming from that kind of background, and how that influenced digital and yourselves?
For me, first I'd say, especially for digital underground, if you listen to any of that, what people call brilliant party music, the words that brilliant party music, everything happening all the way through the party. It ain't never happened. Samoans do the Humpty Hump.
Yeah.
Fat people do the Humpty Hump. Skinny. Everything that's being addressed right now, we were addressing that way back then. It's like, hey, have fun, enjoy it. It's okay to be who you are. So we've been addressing these components, and
Is he breaking up a little bit for you too, Mun, or is that just me?
Yeah, I was trying to hear what he's saying.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
No, I was just saying that the journey has been the whole time. If you listen to the words that were in the songs, everything that was being said was Humpty Dance. All the way through that, it was all about everything that's happening right now. Samoans do the Humpty Hump. It's really talking to Samoans. But fat people do the Humpty Hump. Look at me, I'm skinny. That never stopped me from getting busy. It was all the same. Everything that everybody's saying now, and this has been going on. We've been saying it throughout the party. We took the same things, we just tucked it in somewhere so that people can keep enjoying it and still keep people's mind.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, adding on to what Clee said, it's always been, for me, especially, my dad being in the Black Panther Party and growing up the way that I did, I never felt the reason to have to overly prove that I was that or anything. So I always felt like I could say what I want, and then if you want to have a conversation about it, we could have that conversation. But I think landing with Digital Underground was the perfect place for me, because Shock always put a message in the music. Yeah. Just rather than blatantly throw it in your face, he'd hide a jewel, in the haystack. You think you talk, like he said, the Humpty Dance, but he's being inclusive and saying, like, doesn't matter what you look like, do what you like, or how you, where you come from.
Right.
You can be a part of this. So just the whole movement was from the very beginning about, love, togetherness, and being spiritually on the right side of the fence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be a good person, do good things. Like a business associate of mine says now, so all you want to do is have fun and do good shit. Yeah,
right?
just
Have fun and
do
do
good
good
shit.
shit.
You know,
That's good life
Yeah,
though, right?
that's the motto.
That's a good life.
that's what
And
make
like,
it fun.
yeah, and to, sorry about that. To think about like, you know, for me, I was far more outwardly militant when I was younger.
Right.
And there was something about linking with you all that opened up this opportunity for me to more kind of, you know, enjoy, right? Like I always say, I never learned to laugh like that until I got with y'all on a 24-hour basis on tour. I didn't know what that felt like, and that meant to be able to participate in that kind of joy in those spaces and to understand. And it was even through Erica Huggins when I was teaching and I was working with her son and learning from her of like, you know, education is revolutionary, right? And there's different ways, and joy, now I know that joy and love are revolutionary, right? But kind of tying that back to, do you guys happen to remember how, and I don't necessarily know this, do you remember how we met, Clee? Because you have an excellent memory.
How we met? No,
Yeah.
I believe that we met. Honestly, me and you in particular, I believe that we met at Clee House,
Oh, at
like
A Plus's
early
house.
on. Yeah, it might have been around that time.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. But we had to be young.
We were very young. You know, me and A Plus went to high school together. So
Yeah, so
whole
so here's the thing is that for people who don't know, Adam A Plus's mom and my mom, when we were both in high school, lived across the street from each other.
I
And
didn't know.
so that would totally make sense.
Yeah,
Right.
I believe that.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so like the whole time, Souls were at Undergrove Studio in North. I was out there with them. I was riding the bus with A Plus to the studio when they was recording the first 93 still, all that stuff. I
Oh,
was with
shit.
us all the time. Yeah, like we was together on a daily basis.
Yeah, that has to be how we met, because you know, it's, I mean, it's known in Oakland, but like I came up with Hyro, right? That's where I learned to freestyle, and you
Mhm.
know, that Astro Van and Horse Hill, and you know, as that album was being made and listening to it on cassette tapes, and you know, being like, oh my goodness, we were all youngins. What about you, man? Do you remember?
I remember the first time I saw you.
Where was
It,
it?
it's in Berkeley, and it was at this party. It was like a, I don't know if it was like a rave or some kind of thing, but like, you know, like the Hyro crew was performing, and I remember going. I forget who I was with, and it was like a warehouse, and you guys were all down there freestyling, and I remember seeing you, and I was like, yeah, who was that? You feel me? But then also, I just, because this was before the records, before Souls put the record out and everything.
Yeah,
This was
yeah,
like when the buzz, you know, when the buzz was happening,
yeah,
and everybody
yeah.
in the crew was running around just doing it. So I went to go sing, and then I was just like, man, I'm just in a club full of kids, because it was like high school kids, like I wasn't even out of high school yet. But I just went to go because there was no drinks. You know, I
Yeah,
was out
yeah.
uncomfortable. There's no liquor in the place. I was just like a bunch of kids. But somebody told me you got to come see these guys, right?
Yeah.
Because the buzz was happening. So I went to see, and you were there. I remember seeing you. Like we didn't meet. I just
Right.
remember seeing y'all. I didn't meet none of y'all that day. But I remember that's the first time that I saw all of y'all. Like you, it was, you know, just the whole crew rhyming. Y'all was doing y'all shit. And I was just like, damn, that's dope. I said, okay, this is what's happening next. You feel me? I was like, all right, I'm ready for it.
Right.
But I knew that Clee did know, you know, Clee always told me he went to school with A plus. So that's how I knew Clee. And I live by the lake as well.
Yeah.
So I think after that, I don't know how we actually met, but I do remember one of the first times that we hung out, we had did the show at the DNA Lounge. Those were all Fusion. You were performing. And I think afterwards, I gave you a ride back to Oakland, and we were in my Mustang.
Was that the show that picture came from that we were talking
Yeah,
about?
with me and Courtney, and I was breakdancing on stage.
Yeah, and if you guys see the picture, I have these braids in my hair with cowrie shells at the bottom. Tajia did my hair. What up, CMG? I see you. I love you, sis. Yep, and look, they're like the DNA lounge.
CMG.
Yeah, it was at the DNA lounge.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, see, that kind of makes sense. Because the whole thing is like, it just feels like you guys were always there.
Yeah.
And so I didn't particularly remember. I can remember events like Cleve staying up on the phone with you all night and listening to the police chases from East Oakland to the lake and back to the other side. But anyway.
So what it is, and this is how it always happens, like we always have mutual friends, and a lot of times we just see each other a few times before we actually get to know each other. Then after you see somebody, then you actually feel like you know them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like that's the same thing that happened with Fuse. Like we used to break dance, and I would see him up on Telegraph in Berkeley for maybe like a year, just going every time you see him because he was a white dude. So when we finally met, it just felt like we knew each other. It was like, oh yeah, I know you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of probably what would happen.
I mean, it was also like a thriving scene, right? That's one of my kind of things I wanted to bring up, is that there was this thriving scene and network in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s that was in Oakland and through the Bay Area. We had things like the Gavin Convention. There were other music conventions going on. Tembisa was doing her events at Mills College. When she was a student there was tons of dope college radio, and hip hop was growing and developing, right? And I know that we were moving in the same circles, because it was really about building our skills. You had to know how to rock a live show. And there was no social media. You had to come out and you had to be able to like hold your ground. But I'm wondering also how, but I mean, digital was already popping in some ways. And so, but I guess I also wonder how having that thriving scene in the Bay Area contributed to each of your development individually as artists, and then also the way that digital developed.
You want to go first, man? Or you want me to
go? Just in, like you said, the thriving scene. So it started for me just when, even before digital, when it was just me and Fuse's Raw Fusion, and just doing every talent show and anything that we could do, we'd go and try to do it, but it would always be like the same collective of people that were always doing the same things. You know, you had Capital Tax.
Yeah.
You had K Cloud. You had who else? Dan the Automator.
Yeah, you had Elements of Change. You had other people.
Yeah, you had Dynamic Force, which was Sway and Tech. Who else? I forget those girls that rapped on Too Short record, The Danger Zone. They were still doing stuff.
What you in the Danger Zone?
Huh?
Oh no, I was saying
the Danger Zone.
Cloud.
And Tyson Barbie, The Danger Zone.
There it is.
And we would just be out, but after a while, every time you go do a show, we all going to do the same thing. So we were just, as I was like we're meeting up to hang out and to do this shit. And then whoever was going to get on was going to get on. But maybe like a year or so into it, this group, Digital Underground, they got this record, they pop on the scene. And, Fuse knew somebody that Chamaster J knew, and Sloof knew, Atron. It was like just through knowing and seeing each other, it just kind of all became connected. And so, and that includes Davey D and
absolutely,
D, who had did the radio in Berkeley. Was it KPFA?
He's up in KPFA now, and also like Kevy Kev and there was strong college radio that was going on that was supporting
San Jose, around that way.
Yeah.
So it was just like that's where Motion Man came from. who eventually
Yeah, yeah.
worked heavily with Sway and them. Shout out to Motion Man.
Shout out to Motion
still,
Man. Shout out to the Bums. The first commercial I was ever
drums.
release I was on was the
So,
Bums.
so all of these groups were a part of that initial attempt to get on, or that first push or struggle to get on. And even as Raw Fusion and Digital Underground merged, we still had these community ties where we just felt comfortable, moving around in that scene. And not
Yeah.
only did we support everything that was going, but we were heavily supported by everyone else because they knew that we came from exactly where they came from.
Right.
We always did the same thing. And eventually, Cable Tax, they started doing their thing. K Cloud, they might have put out a couple of records, but they really didn't do much. Obviously, Sway and Tech did their thing. Then the Automator, he did the Gorillas, which
and the food and all kinds of folks. Oh no, I was just thinking of people at that time.
Yeah, you just think of it. And then as we got on, then maybe like a year or two later or whatever, then it came Paris, who was our label mate.
Yeah.
Tommy. Then after that, Conscious Daughters. You feel me? So it's just all like
so it was so popping.
So when I say that I went and saw you guys talking about the High Road Crew perform, I was like, this is the next. I was like, yeah, that's dope. Because it's still, we're going to stay dope. Because there's something coming up right after us that's just as dope, if not dope. So I was proud of it. And then you got to think of, then Spice One, even though he came from short. My god brother Deshane went to school in Hayward and Union City with Dale.
Yeah.
So I knew Dale since he was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a small world out here. And I think it's kind of like if we were dope, then you would eventually, if you were dope, we would all eventually meet up in the same and
then lastly on that, I just remember Clee coming telling me, man, this is dude rapping rhyme. He did he this and he that, and he this and he that, right? So he telling me how dope Rapping Ryan is. So I just remember I was on the bus. I was on like what's the bus that go up all the way, that go past Castlemont? What is that?
40? Oh no, that was the
42?
43, I think.
43. The Foothill bus, 43. Yeah. Anyway, I was on the 43. I might have been going to my Auntie Vine's house. I'm not sure where I was going, but I was heading east. And right on, so then the bus is crowded. And niggas noticed me and they like, yeah, Money B, what's up? And I was like, we got this young dude, he want to battle you or whatever. And I was like, what's his name? He's a little kid. And it was like, Rapping Ryan. And I was like,
did he get him, Clay?
I'm not going to do that on the bus. I didn't know. But I heard about him. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm like Floyd. You gotta pick and choose.
Yeah. What about you, Clee? How did what was happening? How did that, feed into you really as a kid, but developing as an MC?
Well, like Mun said, when I was starting out, I wanted to perform and do every show I could by myself, getting recognized. And then once I had that going, joined Digital Underground, my cousin, and his father being my manager, helped out a whole lot. So I was able to be in a lot of prime positions and make sure I took advantage of them. And then I was in the mix though, like I was a hip hop kid, so I was with A+ over here, and I was with Rapping Ryan over here.
Yeah,
totally different styles, but it was all about the same thing, which is hip hop. That's how we all connect. So,
that's dope.
When I was 15, 16, by the time I was I started touring with the Loonies. And at the same time, and everybody that the Loonies came along with, I got attached to all of those people.
Yeah.
on campus. It was on the payroll,
Yeah, hit us on
everything.
the
Like
payroll.
is it was just the whole thing, you know. That Forex mechanics, you know, us the whole journey. Me having people like Big D in the background making music for me, Mac Moan,
Mm-hmm.
that you know.
Yeah.
At the time, Forex, now what everybody call them, you know, I had these people making songs and music for me at the back. Just connecting with people way we always so we worked with people who didn't represent their names all the time. Me and my
Yeah, I mean, I think we all did, right? And that's the importance
yeah.
of kind of checking back for the foundation is that, you know, when I did episode 1, people were like, well, was digital after you had an album? Was it, when did it? And I'm like, oh no, this all is going on. Monday, you and I kind of figured out yesterday, we were going back to like 92, 91 and talking because we were talking about that, a conference that Tembisa did at Mills. We're going to bring Tyranny on in a second, but I wanted to make sure that what I stated, you guys know, but I kind of wanted to like say it to you guys while people are here, that, you know, what part of what I learned with y'all was how to move with an entire squad of Black men and learn to protect you, right? And learn what love meant. And in order to properly love you and return the love and the protection that you gave to me, I had to learn to move different in the world. It wasn't about just like learn how to be on stage and, you know, develop your craft and your skill, but it was finding family. And I hella thank you, and I appreciate you for loving me no matter what I've done and what I did. But so I have a couple questions I want to make sure that I get in. Do you guys remember the song that we recorded that was supposed that we were gonna do for Cuts for Luck, but then didn't go on the album?
What was it called?
I remember.
It's a Clee. What do you remember?
It was the one we was dissing everybody.
Well, no, it wasn't.
That was
We were all dissing everybody. Mun, you, me, and Shock. We were pretty, you know.
I was told by you that whoever you got something in for, whoever you want to get something off of, this is the one. Exactly by you.
Yeah, and then what
I end up dissing somebody that end up being my friend. What's that dude's name? Damn, what's his name? Lil Zane. Lil Zane.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So to fill folks in on this conversation, and Walt Liquor, we recorded it at his studio. Post is like, I want to hear Mystic go in. I didn't go in like that.
You did. You went on something.
But we recorded it at Walt. No, but what I decided was that it was part of that growing experience of understanding and feeling like I didn't want to perpetuate any drama for any of our crew, and that there had already been this kind of deep loss, and that I didn't want to put that energy into the world. But I told Walt to look for that and see if he can find it. Not that we would put it out now, but I think it would be interesting to look at it.
I still remember that rap.
And mine is like, yeah, I don't remember none of that. What'd you say, Clee?
I still remember that rhyme.
Oh,
and it's so crazy.
I'm not going to ask you to spit it.
I'm not going to. Lil Zane ended up being a homie, you know. So, and I have a love for him. So, and his management as well. So it's like I felt bad. That didn't come up to a certain degree. I still liked it though. I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah. We should listen to it. We should do that. It's almost time for Tyranny. Gosh, I could have talked with you guys.
I want to ask you a question, Mystic.
Yeah.
So like you know, like you said when you first came on, you had like this militant, or not only if you're going to militant or just whatever the the message that you wanted to get across, and then you get around these cats like they kind of care, but they on some debauchery. When did you finally say, you know what, I'm not changing these guys? Like, what was your what was the moment you was like, all right, this is what it's gonna be, and you just had to how we
I
move.
don't know. I mean, I think I never was gonna. I just realized there was some shit I was never gonna be able to change, right? But that
Mhm.
you guys were beautiful just the way you are, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It's like sure there could be debauchery, but it was about fun. There was not disrespect of women that was happening, right? And again, it was clear to me your dad was around, Bobby was around, and so I was having all these conversations about the Black Panthers, and he was like, it's so beautiful that you're an educator and you're with the babies. And so like I felt surrounded. I didn't feel in real life on a daily basis when you're not on tour or when you're not on stage on tour. There's so much more to who you guys are and to who we are.
Right, and I kind of wanted to go back because you asked a question earlier about how it influenced our beginnings, how it influenced it, and I
Yeah.
think, and it's even true. I said this not so long ago, even with Pac. It's like with you, I know you had to feel like you didn't have to over-explain yourself because we already understood where you were coming from
Yeah.
because we kind of came from the same kind of place. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which makes it easier.
What was that last part?
I said it makes it easier because you don't have to over-explain.
It does makes it easier, and like it was okay for me to be angry. It was okay,
Right.
but it was also okay for me to be joyful and to laugh and enjoying life and celebrating life and having a good time didn't take anything away from any of our commitment to our people or to our communities. And yeah, so I don't know though, because I just kind of like once I was there, and I remember asking you, man, like basically, like, is it okay for me to say, like, can I say I'm DU goddess? Like,
Yeah.
you know, am I really like, am I hearing it? Like,
You're
yeah.
official. It's like it's like when Clee got the mirror from Shock. I thought I didn't. You can do it.
Is that what he gave you? Did he give you?
Everybody needs a stamp.
Everybody needs a stamp. I wish I could pull out my conga drums that he gave me. That he was
Yeah.
like, "Welcome to the D flow," you know, what have you. But I was already kind of
You know what?
there.
Mun elaborated on it. You were the DU goddess and the key brew goddess.
And the key brood goddess. So anybody who knows me knows that, like, you know, when I was rocking my super baggy pants, I could fit a 40 in there. I like to drink my beer. I can hang out with the best of them, right?
Nah, back
But
in the
when I
day
was a
when we
little
was on,
bit less controlled, it would mean that I popped a little more shit.
back in the day, me, you, and Essential, we was on the I guess all of us MGDs. Remember that?
Yeah, MGDs. We felt like
MGDs.
we elevated from like Mickey's though, and like old E. It was like we
Yeah. Like
elevate.
okay, yeah. Like we grown. We drinking MGDs.
That's funny.
That's hella funny. I
Stuff.
see you. Angela's on here. What is she's
Yeah.
like? No lies told. No lies told. Yeah, and post it's key. So
It's
DU
Keith
goddess,
Brew.
key brew goddess in all sense.
Can I tell a part of that story? How is the Keith Brew goddess?
Yeah, you can tell the story.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what it is, but you can tell it.
Say what? This is why you were the Keith. This is why we said the Keith Brew goddess is because when we would do shows, everybody know, like I said, we all drinking brews, but they have beer at the venue or whatever, or when we kicking it.
Oh yeah.
And afterwards, when it was all said and done, you know, Mystic always found a way to have a couple tucked in her bunk. You would always have some. I'd be like, damn, we got a brew, and you'd be like, I got one. or you would be like, man, you got a brew. I'm like, yeah. You feel me? Like we was doing it. It's like,
yeah.
Because I always knew you had one. I was like, Mystic.
Yeah, you got to take those with you when you leave. And I see Chris, I see Young Hump. We started off saying rest in peace to Gift to Gab. Definitely love goes out to him and his family and his musical family today. Not to put any kind of you know, harder or more painful energy. As we started, for people who weren't here, I was crying because Chuck asked me how my heart is, and you know, it is what it is. But before I bring Tyranny up, So I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this song that I recorded at your house out here, Mun. I asked you about it, Caravan. You remember it at all?
I remember the
Did you
song.
find it? So what I want to know, what I want to put out there, I'm not going to ask y'all if we can do it, but what I want to put out there to both of you two is that I would like to do a crew song with and take that hook and do it with the me and my crew. Yes, we riding tonight, and every street is our street.
Did you record it here or was it in? I remember that.
Yeah,
Where did
Kevin,
we
the
record
vibe
it
is
at?
so right.
Actually,
Feels so good to be free. And I wrote it about us, right? Because
right.
everywhere we went as a crew, as a family, as a squad, every street was our street. Every space was our space. And to be with you, to be with you guys in that space was the most beautiful, alive thing to do. So I just want to put it out. I think we should bring the hook back since it's never been released and record a
No,
crew.
I was trying to ask you where did we record it actually? Like which house?
Where were you? You weren't in Fremont, were you? When I used to catch the BART out there, you and Ton were,
Concord.
huh?
In Concord.
In Concord, when it was upstairs.
In Concord.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I used to catch the BART out there.
I know I'm gonna check, and everybody listening, don't laugh at me, but because back then I had a 1/2-inch reel-to-reel tape that I would record on, and not knowing how valuable those things are right now, when I moved out here down south,
Yeah.
and my mom was like, "You got to get this shit out of my garage." I didn't have no place to put it, so I dumped it.
No. Oh my goodness, are you serious?
I threw a fucking Tascam 1/2-inch reel-to-reel out because I didn't have no place to take it.
Wow. My engineer might be able to hook us up on that if you still have the reels. But I mean, I could sing it over. I could sing it over.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah, because it sound. I remember the song.
Yeah, I don't want to do
got
the
this
raps.
down.
I just want to sing the hook, and then we can all spit on it.
Yeah, we could just do it.
Clee, will you
Yeah.
spit on it?
Sure, I used to.
You do it for me. Thank you. Where's Tyranny at? Tyranny, send a request.
And before you jump in, I just want to say this
Yeah.
lastly. When we were out on the road, whenever, remember how you had the when Shock would bring you out and you do the rhyme.
Yeah.
What was it? Over the last ones.
Yeah.
That, and then like you and even Element, Essential, when you guys would bust, me and Shock, we were always very proud of you guys because we was like, y'all killing it. You know what I mean? Like, we always felt like y'all was going to take it. And even you, Clee, y'all was going to take it. But I always look at Clee like even more of a veteran because he's been around longer. Right. But I'm just saying, when you guys were out for the first time, we were always like, they spit. You know what I mean? Like, it was dope.
Definitely.
It was so dope to do it, though, to represent, right? And particularly for me, and when we were in Tampa, Moan said something to me that so deeply humbled me. He said, when you got brought in, when you got pulled in, you completed the cipher. And that by the time I went out to be and to tour, I was not there to be pretty. I was not there to make people feel comfortable. I was there to spit, and also, as Shock thought, to play the congas and whatever idea he had about me with the smooth person, right? And I'm like, I want to spit. But that it made me proud to represent, because we were a squad. I say that we were a dangerous squad. We sang, we rhymed, and then
we used to battle everybody after the shows was over. You always had me in some battle. I wasn't right. Like, Clee, we got a battle.
But thank you for sharing that, because it felt good for you guys to feel proud of me, for you to see me, for you to not attempt to change me. There was shit I had to learn, and I needed to know how to move, and I needed to know how to move with us as a family and as a crew. But you know, y'all let me kind of figure it out. I tell this story that you know, Shot gave me some money because his mom was like, she's good, but she got, you know, she has to stand out with all the guys on stage. And so Shot gave me the money, and I went to the mall and I bought some skirts and I bought some fits. And I remember I put it on. I don't know where we were. We were like in the middle of the country somewhere. And I remember coming out and I was all dressed, and you guys were all like, "Oh, oh
I
shit!"
believe it.
And Shaq was like, "Okay, Stick, yeah, that's it," you know, and just
Yeah, you
kind of
can
gave
do
me
it.
a hug of,
I
and because
remember.
you guys weren't trying to have me be this sexualized artist, but it was also like, look, you get to be free here, whatever that looks
Yeah,
like
you
for
can
you,
do
whether
what
it's
you
your
want.
jeans or
Mhm.
whether it's a skirt.
Yeah, who wasn't gonna stop you from doing what you wanted to do? I
Yeah,
remember one show. Tell me if you remember. Remember the Red Dragon in Carbondale? It was like a brewery.
that was a brewery. Yes,
Yeah, it
you
was
and
a
I
brewery.
were you at Soundcheck that day?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
was at. Well, because it was in a brewery, so you do sound check, and they were like, "What kind of beer you want?"
yeah,
But
Yeah.
exactly.
they gave us fucking moonshine jug, and I was carrying that thing all around all day. But I just remember when we did that show. That's one of the shows I remember. You know, because it was always the surprise factor of like, okay, we got a girl with us, right? And then you come out and you bust, and they're like, "Oh shit!" But that was the one show like you killed it,
Oh,
like
wow.
you shut it down. That one show, I
It was
remember.
a surprise though, because I would be on stage for the other songs and different things that people did, and I would sing backgrounds on things, and then it came to this place, and then it was like, then they
You
learned.
remember the place, Glee? The Red
Yeah,
Dragon?
yeah, I
Because
remember.
we played there several times. It was in Carbondale, Illinois.
We did. I think we ended up having to stay there for an extra day till we went back to St. Louis because we missed
Something like that.
3 days that got stopped, so we ended up staying there extra day. And we went to St. Louis for 2 days.
Okay, I got to bring Tyranny on, but I have to ask. Do you guys remember where we were at the show where they started fighting in the crowd and I started singing?
That was only one time.
What did you say? No, no,
I
it's
said that was
very
only one
specific. And
time.
Shock used to talk about it. That they were fighting. They were fighting in the club, and I can't tell you what I was singing or why I did it, but I started singing, and they slowly stopped fighting, and everybody turned back to the stage. And when it was kind of like centered again, I stopped, and then we jumped right back in and went on. And Shock used to talk about it, like, yeah, she just started singing. And
I could see it. I don't remember it, but I can picture it.
Yeah,
yeah, I wanted to know if you guys knew. All right, Tyranny, are you here?
bring them in.
Let's see.
Who's in this
While
thing?
I'm looking while I'm looking for him, you want to tell folks what is going on after this, because we have a whole digital underground evening. So what's
Oh
going
yeah.
on after?
At 7 is the premiere of The Genius of Humpty Hump Part 2, featuring Kent Racker, who is Shock G's brother, and Chris Clark, who is, you know, the newest member of Digital Underground, and he plays Young Hump on the road with me. And, you know, we're just sharing stories about just the genius of what it took to put that together and
Yeah.
different codes that they had to keep and how amazing it was. Like this code that some of it unwritten and some of it, you know, he would share with them and tell them and the freedoms that he would give them and just the certain things of kind of like a behind the curtain look at how that whole thing was put together, not just by the people that played it, but the entire group
Oh
because
wow.
we had to, you know, we played our parts as well. People be like, really, is he?
Yeah.
That is, and
It says Tyranny is unable to join, so I don't know. We are just gonna
we just again.
continue.
But
So I'm gonna ask you, Clee. Do you remember when I recorded Gloomy Sunday with Shock?
I don't remember when we did it. I remember the song.
You remember the
But
song? I remember you. I remember you being like, we listened to it on the road. You guys were listening to it somewhere. I was maybe 20 when we recorded it. I might have been 21. For people who are listening, there is a song called Gloomy Sunday, which is a Billie Holiday song. And the reason that Tyranny was going to be on today is that I was already linked in with Mun and Clee and other folks, and Tyranny also lived down the street over there in that whole area where Plea was and I was and so many people were. And just one day he came to me because we used to hang out tough, and he was like, you know, Shock has this idea for this song and he wants to talk to you about it. And I was like, oh, really? Right? Because I hadn't been able to create with him yet. And that's how I ended up, and Tyranny helped set up the meeting. And that's how I ended up going over to Shock's house and staying over there all night. And he played the keys and we rhymed and we sang back and forth, freestyling all night. And then we recorded Gloomy Sunday. For people who don't know, and I don't even know if you knew, Clee or Mun, like that Gloomy Sunday is the first time I ever sang a song. And I have no idea why Shock thought I could do that, but that was his genius, right? But I had never recorded a singing song.
That's crazy. I definitely don't remember that part.
Yeah, I hadn't.
I feel like you've been singing forever since I've known you.
And that's the thing, is that I haven't particularly, between the angel who was on last week, who got me to work on some kind of like harmony pieces and help with the development of that. But it was Shock who really believed, and we went into the studio in San Francisco and he had a bottle of Hennessy and I was in there trying to figure it out. And he was like, hit the hand stick, you got it, you know. And we worked it out.
High Street.
Yeah, we were at Hyde Street. And then Clee, you were like, yeah, you were our Erica Badu before there was an Erica Badu. And y'all who don't know, I have to say a couple things about you guys too, right? The beauty of Clee and his heart. He went to Brazil once, and I was like, he was like, you know, you want me to bring you something back? Could you please bring me some shells? Bring me some shells from the beach. And then, do you remember what happened, Clay?
Go ahead, remind me.
Okay, so he was like, "Yeah, I'll bring you back some shells." And then you got back, and you were like, "Man, it would have been easier to bring you back diamonds than to bring you shells." But I knew you wouldn't want the diamonds. And your heart has always been beautiful like that, in the sense that, you know, you just super, super got me. What up, C? I know. I see CD in here. And then for you, Mun, people may not have the awareness. However, folks, Mun is a salad. Like, that is the best person to eat with on tour. Because he's all about actually getting up and getting breakfast and about getting things like salads. Mun also likes to take off his shoes, fall asleep on couches, you know, do all kinds of lovely things. But always the protector. I see you want to come up in here, CD? Come on up.
Got a dash.
I call everybody by the old school name, huh? CD.
CD.
Dot.
Yeah. That's what we do.
Greetings.
What's happening?
What's up, man? Please introduce yourself.
I'm Dash. What's happening? What up, Cleve? What up, Mun?
What's up, Mun?
So you're Dash, and how are you connected to our family?
Play a Dash.
Through Element. And then, And
you're also coming on a future episode because you produced on Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom.
Yeah, I did 2 tracks.
Yeah.
That was an honor.
It was an honor to have you on. I hope that part of what comes out through this like IG Live series is for people to understand that actually a great majority of the album was produced by folks from the Digital family.
Right.
And so, and even though Shock just played keys and did vibes, you and Dot were all over the album. I was listening to it and I can even hear Dialect's voice on one of the tracks doing some ad libs. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
Where
remember
are you
that.
at right now? Are you still in ATL?
No, I'm back in Reno now. I was there for the weekend with our artist Creed. Mud knows Creed. Clee loves Creed.
Creed the truth.
Yeah.
Nice. So since you're
Hey, somebody was
sorry, go ahead, Mike.
somebody was asking that they couldn't find the
What up,
song
Chris?
is on the funeral soundtrack, right?
On the what?
Oh, it's on the funeral soundtrack. I had
Who
to.
said it's on the funeral soundtrack?
It's on the funeral soundtrack. So the story behind it is that Billie Holiday's family would allow for her music to be used in the film, but she would not allow for it to be on the soundtrack. And so when you look at the soundtrack, it's all like kind of heavyweight, dope jazz blues folks, and then it's me and Shock.
Yeah.
Because Shock was that amazingly talented as a piano player. But I had to. I have a storage; all my stuff is in it, and so after Shock passed, I had to purchase the funeral CD, so you can still kind of find the CD online, but I haven't
I
been
have
able to find it in digital spaces. I tried looking up the label. I can't say off the top of my head what the label was, but it's not available in digital spaces.
Wow.
yeah. So whoever that is, I want it. $100. I got the CD.
I bought my CD for less than 20 though.
not now. You
Well, I have it
not for
now,
me.
and I bought mine
Not
through
for me.
Discogs.
I'm about to NFT that thing. Hey, Mystic, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So how did you end up having two songs on Cam's album?
So Cam, so I was signed to Good Vibe, which ended up there were different situations. There was a joint venture situation for me to go through J-Core. J-Core was through Universal. Cam was also through that kind of J-Core system. And I love Cam. That's some radical militant black love, black hood, West Coast.
Legendary.
And so I brought him in for the life. I brought him in for the remix. So it was Talib Kweli for the remix of the life. And I remember the label being like, "Are you sure you don't?" And I don't say this with any disrespect, so nobody please take it that way. But folks were, I was like, I would like Scarface, and I would like Cam, and and the label was like, "Well, what about Black Thought? And what about, straight hip hop people?" And I was deeply interested in these storytellers who came more from the street and who spoke, in a different way. It wasn't about the MC lyrical skill so much. Cam is dope, but so he came and did the life, and so that was the remix for the life, and so my return for him was to get on his stuff. That's a great question.
Yeah, because I remember you came to the studio. I remember after you did it, and you did the song, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I was also excited. DJ Quick was supposed to do a remix for me for the first album, and it was all set up. And I went over to the studio, and of course, I called. What were you remember this? Oh, so you tell it.
We came to your session.
I know. And what happened?
Shit, we got there, and then Quick started damn. Was it the 3000 that was in there?
I don't remember what he had.
It was MPC 3000. He just jumped on it and he started doing all kind of shit, just fucking around. And I was, we had a 3000, and Quick was doing stuff on there that I had never seen before.
Yeah, and it turned into this thing where we didn't get anything done for me. That's what happened. I learned a great lesson.
Yeah, he just went in there and started.
Right. It was like a producer and an artist gathering, and you and Shock, and so nothing came out of it. I did learn a great lesson for it. He didn't charge me for it, but we did not get a remix out of it. But at the same time, of course I was gonna call you guys if I was with DJ Quick. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like thinking of somebody like Scarface and the label going, "Why would you want Scarface on the remix?" And I'm like, well, when we were on tour, do you guys remember that show in Houston where Rap-A-Lot came out and we did a whole digital /rap?
I remember.
Freestyle?
I do.
You remember
I remember
that?
Yes, I do. That was a great show.
We had
What
the
did you
On
say?
the
battles.
police.
What'd you
We
say?
had the battle artists, didn't we?
Say
I
what?
Would you?
don't know. I don't know if we were battling. I felt like we were just all freestyling. Were we battling?
It was somebody
No, I
said,
don't think so.
I don't know who
No,
said it. Somebody said rap lot artists against digital artists or something like that.
I don't remember none of that. We was that spot was crazy. I remember on stage it was crazy. That was wild.
yeah,
Devin
yeah,
the
I remember.
Dude was there. Scarface was there. You know, it was
Scarface.
like, and then
Oh,
Cullen was like, oh man, you know, because we were hardcore Devin the Dude fans and Face fans, and he was
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah, that was a night.
that was a night. And you know, if it were 2021, it would be all over social media, and it would have been super dope.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Who knows if there's even pictures from that? I'm not really.
Hey, look, if it was social media back in the day, we'd all be in trouble.
I'm so glad
yeah.
there was no social media back in the day. I see
yeah.
Angela. She wants to say, what about the process for recording Ice Cream Love?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that, man.
Do you remember it? We recorded
We recorded at Screw's house, right?
at Rankin Screw's crib for the Music for My Folks compilation, I
Yeah.
believe. And we used, well, obviously, the Don't Want No Ice Cream Love, that's Gregory Isaacs.
Exactly.
So that was a song that I always loved.
You and I are
You
big
know,
like reggae heads. So
yeah, you already know.
yeah.
So we was on the top of it. So because we were on it like you felt me when I was like, yeah, I'm thinking that. You like, yeah. Plus the beat was Hot Damn Ho by MC Light. Hot Damn Ho. Do 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 do.
Yeah.
And I think Shock played the bass line over.
Did he play the bass line on that?
I believe so. Yeah, he did. He he played the bass line because I sampled the that's why it's a thicker bass because I sampled the break of it, just the beginning break of it, the hot damn ho, and it has it, but Shock played under it and he played the chords and shit over it, right?
Yeah.
We did that. We did it, recorded it at Rankin Screw's house, but for me, the highlight of that whole experience was the remix. Do you remember the remix?
You're like, you asked me yesterday, do you have the remix? And I'm like, I don't have the remix.
I gotta send you the remix because the remix we actually went and took and remade it on an actual dance hall beat that Rankin Screw.
Like I can hear it, but I can't hear the lyrics on it.
It was a total remix.
It was a total.
Yeah, so we didn't do the same thing over a new beat. We just made a new song.
Right, because that's not how we used to do it back in the day.
Right. So it's a real remix. But of that, even though I love Ice Cream Love, I think the remix is my favorite part of that.
The favorite part.
Yeah. Only because it was, because the song was you, me, and Screw, right?
Yeah.
But the remix was actually you, me, and Screw because the beat was made.
Yeah, by yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with it. This is legendary. Shot played on it, and we sampled MC Light. But the remix was a total original track that we just did, and we did it from scratch in Screw's house.
Yeah.
You were there. I was there.
Yeah.
He was there while we made this whole song, this remix from scratch.
With the no.
Mm-hmm.
But what it makes me think of too, when we talk about being reggae heads is it was at your house too that I recorded. I record the special for the Pirate DJs.
Yeah.
Pirate DJs, I'm a dangerous ragamuffin. Just because they the people right? And that was the special that I created. Shout out to the Pirate DJs. Yeah.
I wish I was
that also kind of explains, how you and I kind of started hanging out more because I did have the equipment.
Yeah.
And, playing them would come over. Anybody would just end up at my crib. Everybody knew when I lived by the lake. Plus, y'all was all by the lake. So it was in the area.
Yeah.
And anybody would show up and everybody was welcome for the most part.
Yeah.
You had to buzz you in, obviously.
Right. But that's the thing too.
You know that.
Produced well. I think that
I had to let you in.
The story that we most often hear is that Shock produced, and he did. He was a wonderful, amazing artist. But you also produce, and CD. I know people call you Dash, but CD, you also produce. Clee, you've worked on stuff. Numb produces like tons of
Yeah,
people, and that's part of what's been so dope about our crew is we're multifaceted.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, when I got my first MPC, Numb helped me learn how to use it. I would call Dot. You know what I mean? They basically helped me get started because I was like,
But
how do I do this?
here's where you can't. This is where you can't shortchange. Klee is actually a producer too,
Yeah,
because producing is arranging and seeing a vision through,
Right,
right?
right,
You can make a beat. Just because you make a beat, that doesn't make, that's not the extent of being a producer.
right,
Just like Quincy Jones,
I
he
said
doesn't really
too,
touch
though.
instruments anymore. He didn't touch an instrument, I don't think, during Thriller, but he produced that album
Right,
because he saw. And Clee would always be like, "Look, we don't have a singer." It
right.
would always be the same
Clee got
melody.
vision.
He don't stop.
Like, we'll get a girl to sing, but he knew what he wanted to hear. Like, we need to do this, or let's use that.
Yeah,
That's producing as well. So we all produced. You know, I could actually put my hands on the equipment and make it work,
yeah,
just like a lot of people. But even at times, even when I decided not to do it, I could produce, but I knew I had Dot or Four Racks or CD or
yeah,
whoever
yeah,
refused and
yeah.
refused. This is what I want. Just like, as an example, when we talk about the reggae stuff, you know, the song "Violent" on Tupac Lips Now is because we always would listen to Pirate Anthem when we were on tour, and that was the
Mm,
only reggae song that he liked that I would always play.
yeah.
So when we went back, I said, "Fuse, we're gonna do this," you know, and it was breaking me up because I really wanted to do it myself. I was like, "Nah, we're gonna do it." Right? And but I orchestrated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then even in the studio with me and Moan doing all the ad libs and stuff, that's still a part of producing. So I always remember um, when we were doing any of Clee's music, he always had a hand in exactly how it was going to sound. He didn't just say make it and just do it. He always knew what he wanted.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
producing as well. And you too, Misty. You know what you want
Yeah.
because if you have these melodies in your head, you have to get what you need
Absolutely. I
to
make a
Yep.
deliver the
distinction,
message.
right? Like
Um,
we used to just put like, you know, music produced by, and here's the lyric.
yeah,
Right
that's
there,
just the
right?
way it goes.
Now
You give credit to
I
the guy
wrote
that
the
makes the beat.
lyrics, I did the vocal production on it, I did the arrangement, right? These are
Arrangement.
we developed the tools for and always did, which is part of the whole
Well,
process.
you always told me exactly what you wanted, and if I didn't fit,
That's what
if I
I'm saying.
have,
Like,
nah,
yeah, I know people hate, even to this day, people hate working with, not hate working with me, but I'm very particular in what I want.
yeah,
Yeah.
But also we all learned. I learned it from Shop in the beginning.
yeah,
'Cause
We all did.
yeah, he was not. He wasn't gonna leave it until it was the way that he saw
until
it or that he wanted it.
yeah,
Or should I say, he was gonna be unsatisfied unless it was what he wanted or what he heard or what he asked for.
Right.
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 He's always open to new ideas and for us to maybe hear something to change his mind. But when it comes to levels and this hat or this whatever,
Do you
he
remember?
wanted it the way he wanted it.
Do you remember when Jamie Foxx was talking about he was playing the piano and he hit a wrong note, and Ray Charles said, "No, what you do that for?" You know what I'm saying? Shock, because me and Shock were working on a beat, and Shock was like, "I need you to truncate this," and this is when I was still learning about how to produce. I knew how to make beats, but not really the intricate parts of it. And Shock was like, "All right, now truncate this," and I said, "Truncate." Shock was like, "What you mean you don't know how to truncate?" Got hella irritated with me. He was like, "What you mean you don't know what truncate is?" I was like, "I don't know." You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So I
wow.
had to do all that stuff because he was gonna let me have it if I didn't. You know what I mean? So
Well,
I
it
understand.
turned out well because you have not only made, I mean, you've made bangers for other people, but you made dope shit on my album, and
I
I
appreciate
I super appreciate that. I have to make sure, since you're here, I would have
that.
asked you in our talk, but you're here right now.
Oh, by the way,
Numb produced Maria, right?
me, Numb, and the rest of the Element kind of all did it together.
All did it together. So
now, Numb
the
probably gonna
people
say,
who are watching and listening, they know Maria and 3 Times Crazy song.
Numb sold that beat 5 times.
right.
Oh, yeah. Like, I heard that shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm asking about the first time and how it came, because I remember Numb was like, Dick, you can't get on that. That's not you. You can't get it. So when I came in with the Hola, my nombre es Maria. Ain't a damn thing sweeter than to get between and feel the body's passionately touching. You think you fucking mean love? You just been inducted to the game level infinity, right? So, and I still remember that, but I wondered about that because I feel like that stuff that was being created and what you guys were doing as a crew and what you were developing was so dope, right? It's just like beautiful hip hop,
right.
And so
y'all all produced that. Just clearing that up. Y'all all produced that together. Numb didn't do that by himself.
Right.
Y'all all did that.
Yeah, but Numb sold it.
But Numb sold it.
He did it for Element first though.
That's what I'm saying. It was an Element song.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he gave it to you. He sold it to 3 times.
No, he never gave it to me. I came in and sang the hook for them for the Element song.
For the Elements. Oh yeah.
No, I came in and spit and sang on the Element song, and
on the Elements. Okay.
Sold it to at least one person. He sold it, and he sold it.
And y'all recorded it at my studio, right?
And my verse.
No, but it started off at the Grill.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we finished the studio. Let me do this though. My supervisor, I'm at work. I just want to say I love y'all.
I love you.
He wanted to say hi, by the way. That's Matt.
Greetings. Hi. So tell us, what are you guys? What do you do in the medical field?
We make the surgery kits for the surgeries for the next day.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Let you know, and you go make that happen.
Yeah. So let me, come make sure I get to say hi and say what's up to y'all. So
thank you. And I look forward to when you come on and we can talk about your production. Thank you, Supervisor, for letting him pop in and for listening as well. Black
production. I need it.
Mud, I've been trying to call you.
You ain't been trying to call me.
Call me tonight. I got some
I'm
shit
saying I would like another of music as well.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna get it all ready.
Later.
Love y'all. Please, what's up, man? Hit me.
Love you.
All right, brother.
This might be Tyranny, who's waiting here now.
Is he coming in?
I'm not gonna take you guys way over. No, he's not here. So it's just y'all. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to check in before I ask you what you're working on now, and if there's things that you wanna share out? I figured today was just kind of like a let's build, let's freestyle. Plus it being in Tampa with you guys was so beautiful. It's like I'm just trying to be connected with you guys as much as I possibly can. There is no me without you.
We love you.
I love you.
Hey, how did you get your song on that commercial?
Which the Bud Light commercial? Oh gosh. Well, I'm going to talk about that when Adam is on here, when Plea is on.
Okay.
But the way that happened is that it was simply presented, and I remember I reached out to Adam and I said, "This is what they're offering," and he said, "If you're good with it, I'm good with it." And then I remember having a conversation with my mother. My ass is bold. I went back to the people who asked and said, "You need to go back to the company and ask them what kind of money they're investing in the community, and who they're targeting."
This is only $1 million. And I can't live off
and where and how they're benefiting our communities, and for their to their credit, they came back and the company answered all of my questions. And I went to my mom, who I am the child of an activist, and I remember she was working in her front garden and it was a sunny day, and I said, well, this is what they're offering financially, and this is what I asked them. And she said, Mandy, you do the good work, and sometimes you just got to take the money. You got to take the money.
Talk
You
about
got to take the
shooting.
money so that you could do the work. And as I toured all over, I ended up having to explain on stage to people how my music had ended up in this commercial, because people thought that there was no way that I would ever allow for my music to be in a Bud Light commercial. But the commercial centered people of color. The women were dressed respectfully. They came back and told me what they were giving to the community. And so we made it happen. And people seemed to feel better once I explained it. But we are artists who all come from a period where there was a much kind of more critical eye and judgment on connecting with corporations to have our music be included, right?
Right.
So, but if my mama had said no, you shouldn't do that, I probably wouldn't have done that, and that was good money.
I'm glad you did it.
Thank you. And plus, like, I drink beer, so
Yeah.
you know.
Hey, talk about
Bud Light.
shooting the video when we shot the video that day at your crib.
You said who?
Hey,
The video.
Yeah,
The video
you guys
shoot.
were there for the life
Talk
video,
about
and
that.
that was beautiful.
I was the chef.
Yeah, Clee is a Clee.
Cuban.
You know, I'm not gonna pop shit, Clee. Clee is on the grill. I'll say that.
That's all you can say about it.
Mun is there. Num is there. What's beautiful, Carla and Carol, CFP and Special One is there. There's a beautiful kind of piece in that video where we just get to see Carol, right? And there really should be another episode that's like me and the Conscious Daughters and Sugar T and like our whole squad. But that was dope to film the video in front of my actual apartment, which is
Right.
the actual garden where I Rose Garden, Oakland Rose Garden, where I work with kids, and to go to the actual welfare office, which took hella permission to be able to get into. They wanted to know what was I going to say about the welfare office. How was I going to depict the welfare office? When in all actuality, I wanted to show having the memory of when my mother was on welfare, of you know, having to kind of sit in these places with my mom, but still being like, you know what I mean? I see people who are wanting to come up here. I just want to say, love ya, but there are no guests outside of the Digital Underground family today, and that is intentional. I'll look at some of the questions. Respect and love reflected back to Bosnia. And am I saying it right? Herzegovina? Is that how I say it? Please correct me. I apologize. I will learn how to say it correctly as somebody who moves about in the world. And Tommy, I'm not sure what track you wanted to be. You wanted to know if it was going to be, if you wanted to be released. This person said, this has been so epic. I've never heard Clee on an interview before. You don't talk about Clee?
Shout out to Dirt, baby. She
I
up
don't
in
talk much.
Canada.
You know, I did it for you, Stick. I did it for you.
I know, and I thank you. I'm not going to keep you. You guys probably need to eat before your 7 p.m. But like, you know, I think we did it. There's nothing to talk about here. Here's what I want to say, and I should say. I can hear my business partner, Clee and Mun. You guys have some idea that this is coming, but what I can say to everybody is that if you were to go and click on the link for my link tree in my bio right now on IG, you would see that there is a pre-save button for Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom, both the edited and the explicit versions. What this means is that, surprise, I now own the masters to Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom. This is the 20th anniversary. I own it. I'm putting it out on what is my label,
Nice.
It's Beautiful Soundworks, which is running through Soul Spasm and my partner Guy and Schematics and all his stuff. But it'll be coming out on July 30th. The original release was on July 31st. It feels beautiful that I'm going to be able to get it back up and have it in the world. Yeah, so I wanted to share that, and I'm
You
excited.
should do a remix EP and have us on it.
I would love to do that. I think it would be dope to do well, maybe we can talk about it for other things that we're talking about, but maybe some stuff that we're talking about, we could take something like the life or take something else and we could remix it as a group. You know what I mean? Again, take the hook or we create something that is new. And that's part of what I'm thinking about is like, what do we create now? But I want to ask each of you, like, if there's anything that you want to share and talk about what you're working on now. Like, Clee, do you want to talk about anything that you're working on now?
Yeah. Well, me and Mun, film and TV as well.
Yeah.
So right now we're about to go in production on a couple of shows. We have one called Gloves Off, and we have one called Packs. We're about to start shooting those very soon. We're also working for a very big cannabis company now, Cannabis Venture Partners. And as far as cannabis is concerned, we pretty much facilitate needs that need to be met. We facilitate it all the way across the board, all the way across the whole spectrum of cannabis. We do anything and everything. So that's where we at as far as the cannabis side. And I'm still writing music here and there, and writing
You just
more
been
for
writing
others.
music?
Yeah, I write for others more than for myself now.
Oh, more than yourself. You don't get on and smash folks.
You don't get on. He gonna be on my album. I know that much.
I want to be on your new album. I want us all to be on each other's new album. But
we're gonna do it.
I know we will make it happen. But I think that's super important in connection with the cannabis, right? You and I were talking when I was on my way to the airport in LA, Clee, and we were talking about, just what hemp and what can be used for renewable resources and sustainable resources in the world. And I think that there are really important conversations about cannabis as part of healing processes, but it's also for people to understand that something that we're told is so incredibly terrible actually provides incredible solutions for the future.
Save the world. We're working on stuff for a lot of the countries right now that don't really have a whole lot of things, and basically what we're doing is we're building an atmosphere for them to have jobs and for them to make money and live and have real jobs and make money that they would be making if we live in a free world.
Yeah.
But closer to the free world like we are right now, because we're not free either. But they, as much as they're going through it, there's a lot of people that are going through it a lot worse than we are.
Yeah.
So this cannabis and hemp, just for as far as like plastic, we can use hemp to get rid of plastic. We can use hemp for so many different things. Stop chopping these trees down and start making furniture and clothing and all the rest of the stuff out of hemp.
Yeah.
Make hempcrete. It's just a whole lot of things that we can do with hemp, and it's kept from us because we're the best people of color are the best at. So, if you create something that can help with everything, and the people who are the best at it are not yourself, then you put yourself at a bad disadvantage, and that's how they. Well, and they don't well benefits from. A lot of people are selfish, so they don't think about their grandchildren. They just think about themselves. You might win, or your child might win, but it's not going to keep lasting because you're going to kill the work, and nobody's going to be able to survive.
Right. Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that work. And young Hump wants us to know that he got you on stage, though. You want to come up here? You can send a request, Chris, if you want to come up here. What about you, Mom? What you got going on in poppin'?
Where do we start?
Yeah.
Clee said a lot of it, and to add on to that with our content production, I'm actually a partner on a new Black-owned streaming network called Fire Network, And shout out to Deuce Maps, you know. But yeah, so if you know, it's Black owned. It's a free app. It's on anywhere that you can get, you know, Roku, Fire Stick, wherever. Download it to your phone or your laptop. It's called Fire Streaming Network. The movies are free. Just it's dope. Fuck with it, especially with the shows we about to add to it. From music, comedy. We have a Hispanic channel, the sports channel with live streaming boxing, live streaming concerts.
Oh wow.
That we'll be putting on. So definitely check out Vire. You know, some people will know about the whole NFT thing. I'm heavily involved in that and working towards the Digital Underground collections with an S on it. And I say that to say that, you know, and even to you, Mystic, if you have something that you feel could be NFT, then you won't have to go through the whole thing of redoing it. If it's pertaining to Digital Underground, you know, I represent the DU family
Yeah.
as that, so we can do that. So, you know, I'm heavily,
Awesome.
you know, I'm all into the NFT space and all of what that entails. I need everybody that's out there that loves this new music that you hear out there to please check out my artist, Lil Mikey TMB. He got a new single called No Pressure that's kind of rocking. It's picking up steam in a lot of regions. I do believe that this is his hit record, so look for Lil Mikey TMB's No Pressure. What else? Clee, help me out. You know, I do a lot.
And Mama Shep wants to know where your show is available to watch. Going Way Back
so
show.
The Going Way Back show at 7 p.m. It's on the Going Way Back show YouTube channel. That's the Going Way Back show with GOIN. And if you go to my page, the link is in the bio. That'll take you right there. Please subscribe so that you get alerts to when it's a weekly show. It's classic hip hop, raw and uncut. And whatever time it is, at 7 o'clock, you will see part 2 of the Genius of Humpty Hump, and it features Kent Racker, Shot's brother, and Chris Clark, aka Young Hump. Cullen was in the last one, you know, because
I was like, how did you get Cullen? I was like, what?
Well, you know, Cullen and Moan, they helped create the Humpty Dance.
I know, but Cullen just, you know, we don't see him very often.
Y'all don't see him.
Well, I mean, we don't see him on interviews and stuff like that.
Nah, but he agreed. And actually, when we did the interview, it was his birthday, so he was only able to be with us the first episode. He wasn't in the second episode. And you know, this is a pre-recorded event, so while it's playing, I will be in the room so we can chat live still like we always do. To everybody that's already subscribed, shout out to Dirk Vanny and everybody else. And then of course there's DU merch, which I see you wearing.
Hello, can we see?
Right?
Yes.
And dumerch.com is the officially licensed website for Digital Underground merchandise. So it's Digital Underground merchandise ran by Digital Underground. And you know, I'm excited. We got some new things coming.
Nice.
You know,
I still don't have that shirt.
I want you to make some women's, right? Like, let's represent.
It's coming. So here's the deal. So obviously, you know, my partner in everything, Tom Teasy, shout out Tom Teasy. You know, so I lean on her. So she's already picked out some of the women's design shirt, I don't know what you call it, the type of women's shirts. That she says is what's happening. So I do have some designs that we're going to launch for the summer. A new Kiss You Back. We're definitely going to do the What's Up with the Love for women.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I actually got one that I tried. You know, I got my own heat press. I'm over here experimenting. So
they're making it.
They have now. So stay tuned. I want to show you, Cleetis Mack. We're bringing out the tie dye collection.
Oh.
You feel me? Sauce, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Nice. he
Chris, you
said
watching?
we
I
have money
did out some more
in
of
Young
the
Hump panties.
Money Being Young Hump with some new colorways.
Do you guys
You
really
know, I'm
have
gonna
money
be,
be in Young Hump panties?
we still got the Legacy collection.
He
Hey
skipped
man,
over that one.
All right.
oh, the Legacy collection. Well, I'm just saying that.
No,
Now
I'm
this
saying
one
she
is
was.
limited because this one is gonna go away probably in the next 2 weeks or so. This is
Nice.
the legendary collection. This is like classic moments in digital underground history. We got this one. We got the Humpty Kiss, and what's the other one? Oh, Humpty with the Humpty Girls, right? What else? Oh, Clee, tell me if you like this. We might do the red. What's up with the love? Which might be dope. I don't know. We're just trying a bunch of stuff.
I like the
I
But
like.
yeah,
I like.
dmerch.com. Check it out. It's happening.
yeah, and just
And of course, look out for new music by Money Being Young Hump.
yeah,
You know, we got the slaps,
yeah.
4 racks on the production, C Dash on the production. We don't have a Clee feature or a Mystic, but we can do that. I know Mystic got our back.
You know, I got you.
And you know, I've actually kind of been not contemplating, but I'm working on like some Money B solo music, and it goes back to what you were saying, Mystic. You know, me, Money Being Young Hump, we kind of keep the legacy of digital underground with the party music and
Mm-hmm.
keeping it fun and light. You know, me myself, you know, as I mature, I now I want to talk about the things that you know you remember that I always know about. So you know, I'm not gonna put that pressure on my other group members, but
Right.
you know, on my solo stuff, I'm speaking more of my mind on certain social issues and not, you know, and actually acting my age
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and being really who I am.
Grown folks,
So what?
grown folks music.
Yeah, it'll be grown folks music. You know, I'm still acting fool because
Right.
I'm a fool.
Well, you're you.
But it's grown folks topics.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's still gonna be slapping, but I think that's my space where I can do that, and I don't have to hold nobody to do. You know, I can jump on the Mechanics compilation and do that. I can jump on the Money Being Young Hump. We can have fun. You know, even if we do this, I'm gonna let the cat out the bag. If we do some more digital underground stuff, if we can do what we think we can do, you know, it's gonna be that. But this Money B thing is gonna be me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without any-
I think it's important, and it's like I want to let a cat out of the bag too, but I'm like I don't know that I should.
Say what?
I said I want to let a cat out of the bag too, but I don't know that I should do that yet. But what I will say is that I think that you putting out your stuff and you and Young Hump putting out your stuff and other members of digital putting out our stuff, that it all will really come together in a beautiful way. And you know, I'm on board if we do decide to do new digital.
Yeah. And you know, we keep it lit because we always support each other. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it's always a
Absolutely.
phone call
I
away.
think it'll be great. Can I say that we're working on doing an event?
Sure.
So for folks who are tuned in, all three of us, myself and Clee and Mun, along with other amazing folks, are working on trying to put an event together to honor our brother Shock G here in the Bay Area. And so we're working on that. And when we have you know, locked in some of the other details, we will be sharing that with you. But it will be about celebrating his life, his family, our legacy, our communities, and just the brilliant music and the brilliant love that we all are part of and that we've had the privilege to carry forth. So I'm psyched. And I think that's clear when we got on and you're like, it's good things today, right? Like in connection with this particular like thing that we're trying to do, we had some more kind of
August 21st.
August, so we can say, okay, yeah, August 20th.
Yeah. I was holding back. I didn't know it was time. I thought it was
I'm
time.
like, are we
It's
saying
about time.
it or are we?
It's August 21st. I'm saying it.
Oh, Tyranny talking about yo at 6:30. What time zone are you?
There you
But yeah,
go.
August 21st. And where are we going to be? Oakland.
Oakland, California.
Oakland, California. August 21st. Celebrating Shock G. So we are working on making it happen. What'd you say, Clee?
We starting off in the east and we going through the town. So just to let everybody know, we're gonna be riding through. If y'all, when you see us, jump on board. We're going through the town. And we're gonna be bumping digital. So if you got your music on and you bumping, get in line. Police gonna let you bump. You ain't got to turn it down for that day. They're gonna give us a little pathway. So as long as you bumping Digital Underground, you got the pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something Digital Underground affiliated.
So everybody listening, you have plenty advance notice. Be in Oakland August 21st.
Exactly. Why don't you just send a request to come in the video, Tyranny? It's okay that you're.
Yeah, come on in. Sucker.
Come on in.
He popped in like, yo. But anyways, yes, everybody make your way. Be in Oakland August 21st. And be ready to celebrate the family. We are the Digital Underground family. We are putting it together.
Yes, we are.
Request. Send a request.
He said he did.
He said he did, but he didn't. There.
So wait, can you give me an example? You said you can show pictures on this thing now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a picture to show, and the screen looks different. But look who made it!
There he is.
Man, hey, I apologize to my brother and my sister, both my brothers. My bad. I'm late, but I'm here.
You are late, but you are here. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm good. I got these stupid shades on. Hold on.
And where are you? And
what's up with it? Clee? What's up, Clee?
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Hey, we back together again. Shit.
Hey, it ain't long.
9-6 all over again.
It's all over again.
Tell the people who you are.
Clee.
Who don't
I'm
know.
Tyranny. I think I'm like the 19th member of Digital Underground. I was founded from Shock G. I was an infamous freestyler, and me and you go way back. You one of the dopest MCs I've ever heard in my life. So, and Mun, that's bruh. And Clee, that's my roommate. You know what I mean? Clee used to keep me calm on tour. So, you know, I'm here. I'm part of
that, right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Clee was really good at keeping me calm because he knew I was ready to snap at any moment. I think they did that on purpose. when we was in New York. Clee was like, T, I see it in you, bud. Let me talk to you. He was good. Clee was a people person, so he good at that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Gosh, I told the Gloomy Sunday story since you weren't here. I had to tell the story about you are Mr. Connector and how you told me that Shock wanted to talk to me, and then that's what came out of it.
Man, I think me and Shock stayed around the lake, and he was like, I need a dope. I think, you remember the lake house, man?
I remember that.
The lake was popping.
We sold that house to pieces. I remember, this fool Shock, boy. First of all, I remember him talking to me like he was three people. So that was the first history lesson I learned. Like, I was used to sit there. But anyway, I used to tell him, like, yo, I know this dope female MC, but she's like the best I've ever heard in my life. And I'm with her every day drinking 40s on the step. And so, and he was like, yeah.
Reoccurring thing.
Yeah, I'm saying Shock was great at spotting talent. Just like he did it with all of us. You know what I'm saying? Just the same way. I remember our conversations. He's like Clee. He used to talk about Clee like Clee know everybody in the East. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't nobody Clee don't know in the East. I feel safe when I'm with it. And Mun, that was fam. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we used to have some very interesting conversations. But yeah, we was kids back then. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you know what I mean. My experiences with DU was one of the greatest. You know, I wouldn't change it for the world. I think Money B, now that, you know, you the helm you the head right now, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That power's on you to You know what I mean? We're gonna do right by Shock, Greg, whoever, however y'all know him, and rock out because y'all was mad close. You know, we was. I mean, he to me he brought together the energy to me. You know what I'm saying? He always told me Digital Underground was a group that you hopped off of. So you got with the group, and then boom. You know what I'm saying? So back in them days, that's what it was. But he took great care of us. He fed us. I mean, he made each one of us our own stars in our own right. With you know what I'm saying, with Raw Fusion. I was a fan of Raw Fusion. You know what I'm saying? And
Do you
on that
remember
note,
how we met, Tyranny?
probably I don't know. Was I at Adam House one day or something?
I
I don't
If I
even
all
remember.
in
remember back to
Adam's
Adam,
house. It probably is what it is. That may be what it is.
Yeah,
Like
because Adam had like a free apartment.
it seems like you were just there, and you've always been there, but I can't remember.
No, I
I
think
just
you
said
was
the
a
same thing, T.
yeah. It was like
I just said Adam House too. She asked me. I said probably at Adam House.
yeah, probably Adam House was the drunk house, and he was the only one of our age group that had lived by himself. I think his mom gave him the crib, right? Didn't his mom used to stay there?
Yeah, because that was his
And
mom's
Yeah.
house, and then she moved across the hall.
yeah, she moved across the hall, and we used to go over there and freestyle until our nose bleed. And when I heard you rapping one day, I was like, damn.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit. And I was known in freestyle. I couldn't remember no lyrics though. I admit that. Hey, you remember that, man? I couldn't remember shit. I could freestyle, but I couldn't remember not one rhyme that I wrote. You know what I'm saying?
wait,
So
can I tell the story, Tyranny?
yeah, of course.
It relates to that. So we get ready to go on tour, so we got to rehearse for the show. And we're like, all right, you got to remember this. Remember this. Tyranny gets to the rehearsal, and he can't. He's like, bro, I don't remember stuff. He's like, I just do it. I ain't never had to do this. They're like, bro, I was like, when we go on tour, we're gonna have to kind of do the same thing every night.
Yeah.
And he just, and you know me, I couldn't understand. And he was trying to tell me, like, man, I freestyle. I don't.
Yeah. Clee used to
don't-
have me and Clee. That's how we got super tight because he used to put it in perspective. Because I was just a kid who liked to freestyle. I could freestyle, but you told me to write it down. So you know what I mean. But you know, look, when Shock did Future Rhythm, I freestyled that whole concept on my mama. Like when he did Gluteus Maximus, I came up with that in the closet. I wrote the Gluteus Maximus joint. And these were things that when we lived together, like I would just freestyle over beats that he would collect from or produce, and he would sit up there and write them down. He would make me record them on a little machine, and I was like, all right, well that's what I'm good for.
Namani.
That's
That's
it,
brother.
huh?
Namani is in the comments. Freestyle right now.
Namani, what up?
We still, hey, don't front. I still got bars. I'm still smacking.
Every
You
single
know
one
what I mean?
still has bars,
We got time.
but this is not a.
We got time. I would love to see Clee freestyle though. You know what I'm saying? Clee had a magical flow.
Yeah,
Oh Lord.
smash it.
What's up,
You know what I'm
Namani?
I'm always well. I got
saying?
it.
Well, we here celebrating your 20-year joint, right?
Yeah,
This
it's
is
about you right now.
part of this is the road
Yeah,
to.
so Mr. got to start the freestyle.
But that's part of the reason that I wanted to come on because I wanted to talk about how you were the connector of that, and also to thank you. Like you would come over to my house and pick me up at 8:00 in the morning and drink a 40 with me if I was sad. You let me cook in your kitchen, even when your girl moved out here. I could still be in your house and cook in the kitchen. And
yeah, it was dope like that.
And you thought I was dope, and you know, you were just amazing. But that connection that you made, I'm not sure. I don't think that the path that I took, if you had not linked me with Shot for Gloomy Sunday, I think that my path would have been.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I wouldn't still have ended up in digital or that I wouldn't have sang, but like that was a pivotal moment.
I just think it was important for people to hear who you were. You know what I mean? Like, you was too dope to like not shed. I've always been a person to shed the love. You know what I mean? Like, and at that time when I said that, I knew I was on my way out of digital. You know what I'm saying? At
Mm.
that point in time, he was like, "All right, well, bet." Shock used to tell me, "Okay, well, boom." I was like, "Well, I did everything from holding the hands to carrying the bags to rapping on stage. Like we all climbed the ranks of digital." So, in my point of view, digital was a jump off. Like it was like you get in, you know, Shock let you get on 2 albums, and then boom. He even told me the story about Mun. Like he was just like Mun was too dope to leave digital, and when he left with Raw Fusion, he didn't know how to feel. He didn't. When you did Raw Fusion, I swear to God, but if he used to tell me, he was like, he was so juiced that you did that. And I was like, well, tell a nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for all of us, to me, he was proud of,
So
because him and Clee had a relationship that was just different. It was like Clee was you was his hood connect. You know what I mean? And I remember going to East Oakland and pulling up at Clee mom crib, and whole neighborhood knew who that nigga was. Even with you, like when you finally when you was finally hanging around digital, it was like Shock was juiced to have a female version of himself. You know what I'm saying? That you were so creative, you know what I mean? And the things that I mean, the last time Shock came in my office maybe a year ago and just popped up in my shit. I'm in here, Raphael, everybody here. He's like, come on, let's go for a walk. And we walked over to the Washington Inn, and he played the piano at the Washington Inn for 4 hours.
mhm.
So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, Mun, you remember this? You remember when Pac died and y'all was at the studio?
I did the
Y'all was
studio.
y'all was at the studio, and they called the house because my phone number was Shock G's like last number, and the hospital called and said, "Hey, this is the next of kin. Greg Jacobs is the next of kin for Tupac Shakur. We wanted to let you know that he was
No,
deceased."
that's not. We was in front of your house, the house y'all had together by the lake when Tupac got shot. That was a studio shooting. That's when we had a show that day in Merced. Merced, all
No, I
piled
think
up.
y'all was at the studio.
No, we was all piled up in front of your crib, in front of the house on Shot
When
Lake.
right
We was
when he
all
got right.
getting ready to go to Lake Merced.
Right, exactly. So you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that was. I mean, it was like it's been an interesting ride. Like life has its things. And then Mystic, you did your thing, and I've heard your name. Like when Dana was, you know, another friend of
Thank
mine who we both know. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
She's still my girlfriend. No, but anyway, Dana used to talk about you all the time. Like when
For
she was I think
the
she was at Priority or one of them.
was at J Core, the distributing label. She is my.
Yeah.
She will also be on this series more towards the end. So that's who Dana is. Dana Mason, aka
Yeah,
Dane.
she was fly. But yeah, anyway, I just thought you was the dope, and I still think you was. I still think you're the dopest female MC I've ever heard.
Ah,
Like you used to bust. Like we used to bust. I used to didn't want to bust drinking beer with you on them damn steps. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So
I appreciate
I
that.
will
I
say,
am humbled by that, and you two are part of like a part of my journey. And you weren't on, but what I was saying earlier is just like, and I'll say it again, all three of you have loved me and protected me and held me up and made me feel honored and taught me life skills and game skills and just thank you for allowing me to be with you and to love you and to roll with you and to be family with you.
well, I
Also,
wanted to
we
add
remain
for people.
fucking dangerous, so it is what it is.
I wanted to add for people that's checking it out. If
Yeah.
anybody remember the Source magazine picture with his me, Shock, Clee, John Doe, and Tyranny, that's in front of Tyranny crib, right? We sitting outside
hmm
on the street with the Source magazine.
hmm
You remember that, Clee?
Yep.
yeah, I
I
remember
think
all
Big
that.
Lou might have been in the picture too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said what?
But we are going we gotta end so we can prepare for the going back. at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Why don't you shout that out again before we?
Oh yeah. The Genius of Humpty Hump, Part 2, Going Way Back Show YouTube channel, 7 p.m. Everybody, right after this, we all gonna jump over and celebrate the big homie,
Yeah.
Shock
The
G.
big homie.
And
The big
thank all
homie.
three of you for coming today.
Thank you, Stick. You know we love you, Stick.
I love you,
Thank
and for the
you.
Yeah,
folks
Yes,
love
sir.
you,
who tuned
man.
in,
I'm coming
we
to
will pick
kidnap you
up.
one day, so stop praying.
What'd you say?
What's that?
We should go back to the old house and have 40s or water 40s now. I can't drink all that 40 no
I was
more.
about to say I don't need a 40 for it, but we have beer. But
All
for
right, bet.
Just
folks, for
just a
next
6-pack.
Thursday,
That's a 40.
hold on.
It's just packaged different.
Next
Yeah.
Thursday, Mystic Behind the Journey will pick back up for our episode. This is a special Friday episode because Mun has his show on Thursdays and then he has his thing tonight. So next Thursday, 5 p.m., I will start posting about the guests for that show in the near future. I thank you for tuning in today to kind of listen to our conversation, our rambling, our memories, our laughter, our love, our sorrow. I thank you for supporting me. And for those of you who were not here, Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom will be released digitally on July 30th. You can go into my bio, hit the link tree, and you can pre-save to stream wherever you want to stream. But hopefully we'll have some vinyl for you and some other goodies.
Dope album. Make sure y'all get that thing. The album is fire.
And
Grab it.
but what's important to me is like I own the masters now, right? It's 2020,
Yeah.
and as artists, some people have always been independent. Some of us have not been able to own what we created, our art, our lives, right? And when I stepped back from the music business, I was so happy to get out of my contract. If I had to walk away from owning everything that I created, I was fine with that. Like even walking away from what I wrote for my father, right? I was fine to walk back from that because I needed my freedom. I needed not to be held and bound. And so to come back 20 years later and to own the masters and to be able to release them, to share them, and they can exist outside of however long I live in this lifetime. That music will now
And you can pass them down to whoever you want them to.
exactly.
You can stay
But the
within
music will
your.
be available. It's like people are still experiencing trauma. People are still figuring out how to heal, men and women. We are still trying to figure out how to heal in our communities. We are still experiencing trauma. And so Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom is healing in process.
And
You know what I
this is
love
what I'm gonna
about you?
do too.
That
Because I know I said I was gonna try to find, because I know I have a bunch of pictures of all of us. Right?
Yeah.
So I am gonna still go back and find them, and I'll just start posting them throughout the week.
That would
If
be
it's okay.
cool. And in my storage, I have hella pictures from tour and from parties.
Or do you want me to send them to you and let you post them?
Yeah, either way works for me. Either way works for me. I would love to see them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
gonna send them to you. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom, post them and tag us in them so we can
that'd
repost
be
them.
dope.
Yeah, but I'll also send them to you, Mystic, so you can make.
Yeah, and I'll pop them in here and
Yeah.
make
Hey, you posted a picture of all of us one time. I was about 115. You the only one that's still the same size and shit. Well, Clee was bigger. Like I went the opposite way. You know what about Mystic? When Mystic was in Digital Underground, I was like, man, she doing a lot of singing. You know what I'm saying? And I used to be like, damn, nigga, she can rhyme. She can flat out rhyme, like no question. Like that's what I know, and that's what I have in my heart. So
Yeah, and I will always be an MC. I think though what I learned was how to be a full artist and that there are different mediums for expressing ourselves. And some shit just feels better to sing about. And whether it's painful or whether it's something that feels good. And some stuff, it just feels better to spit it, right? But why would we as creatives and artists say, well, I only use watercolors in my toolkit when there's oil,
Yeah.
when there's pastels, when there's different ways for us to mix and blend our hues and to explore in it. But that was my concern with The Life being the first single, even though they were singing on the album, was that I was concerned that people wouldn't know I was an MC. So I didn't want it to be my first single. I was horrified that people were going to think I was a singing chick. So I was still trying to be comfortable with that and to adjust to it. But I found so much healing through the process of creating and sometimes singing that I just continue to do it. But I still spit, though, my love. I still spit.
Got to. Creators remain creative.
Exactly.
We never stop.
So, all right, y'all. This is the end. I love you.
All right,
Cleo, I love you. Man, I love you too. I love you.
Love y'all, man.
Yeah, and Man and Cleo, I'll
Hey,
talk to you tomorrow morning.
you'll get that deck tomorrow.
All right, y'all.
All right.
All right, Cleo.
Peace, y'all.
See y'all at the way back, yo. That way.
Oh, yes, and I'm going to say it one more time. August 21st, celebrating Shock G in Oakland. Just keep your eyes open and your ears open for additional details on that.
And the date open. Keep the date open so you
keep
can
the
be
date
there.
open and be in Oakland. If you're not in Oakland, if you're not in the Bay Area, be in Oakland, August 21st.
Buy your ticket tomorrow.
What'd you say?
Done deal.
I said buy your ticket tomorrow. If you're not in Oakland, I'm blocking you.
We're gonna buy the ticket. There are no tickets, my loves. There's nothing available right now. We're just
I'm saying ticket to get to Oakland if you're not.
Oh yeah, buy your ticket. Yeah, your plane, your train, your
Oh yeah. Young Hub just told me we on the way back show in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Everybody just doing way back show tonight.
I love y'all.
Hey, man, it's on YouTube.
And I'm gonna talk to a couple people who have some things, but thank you for being on.
Absolutely.
We love you, man. Always. Bye.
Love you. I'm gonna call you, T.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can go, man. I know you need to go. I'm just looking at some of the comments from people.
Oh, I don't even know how you do it. What do you do?
Oh, that X up in the right-hand corner, you can move yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you to the people who are happy that I own the master. I think that you guys get that this is a really big thing. And so as I've been talking about like the balances of working a 9-to-5 job and also what I'm doing as an artist and a businesswoman, part of that has been attempting to set up and get clarity on, how Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom could be released digitally, how I could get it to you, how it can work for me. It's how I can start to create a label, how I can start to have this space where you guys can find my whole entire musical journey now when this finally comes out, that you can find Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom. You can find Beautiful Resistance. And then who knows, maybe there'll be something new to find as well. And I will leave it at that. So I see you, Miss Chrissy. Love you. So yeah, thank you for showing up today. Thank you for loving me. Thank you to those of you who were on here when I was crying earlier and like you were holding me virtually. So I appreciate that. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you stay safe. I hope you get some time to restore your energy and your hearts. And as I was asked, I will say to all of you, I will ask you, how is your heart? If your heart is a little sad today with losses in our community. I love you. I love you, Elaine. With the losses in our community, take care of your hearts, right? Take care of your hearts, as I say, find your grace and stand in it. I love you. Loving each other is revolutionary. Loving ourselves is revolutionary. So please do continue to practice intentional acts of kindness. And thank you for being present today. Peace out.